And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com. You know the drill. www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Download the app for Android, iPhone, everything Galactic. Go to the app. They will deliver right to your front door, pretty much anywhere inside the 275 loop. Or go down to Dayton, Kentucky. Tell them to pump it up. Save yourself 15% off of your order. Aaron, officially, game week.
It is that.
Saturday, Saturday, like we got 7 days. Today, like Sunday, okay. For me, that's game week. You know how you know it's game week? We had a Bearcat brunch this morning.
We did. It's true.
The brunch returned.
Mm-hmm.
So Dave and Jeff, if you haven't checked it out yet, it's up on the podcast feed. It is on the YouTube feed. Everywhere you go. And before anybody freaks out, I need to do laundry. It is what it is. I have a hard and fast rule, Aaron. If you send me merch, I will wear it. I got this, I think, within like the first couple weeks that Mick took the job. A little care package. If you send me free merch, I will wear it. So
I just figured it was UCLA 24/7 trying to recruit you.
No, that was a while ago. Like that. That would have been a Bruin Report online shirt. Bro shirt. I do love that. Like that would have been one of the things I loved if I had taken that job. We are BCJ. They are the LA UCLA site is Bruin Report online. Bro, hey bro. It's so fitting. It's so fitting. We got a couple things to get to today. We'll start. Captains have been named. Emory Jones, Gavin Gerhardt, Dante Corleone, Jawan Briggs. Not really, I don't think many surprises there. Gavin Gerhardt is literally your only returning starter on offense.
I guess that's maybe the biggest surprise, though. Even still,
not really.
He is your anchor at center. So there is that. It's
He's
not like
the
he was
only returning starter on offense.
I understand. It's not like he was a right guard, a left guard, a right tackle, a left tackle. So I understand it being the center, and he is an upperclassman at this point as a junior, I believe, right?
Yeah.
That said, again, I said maybe the biggest surprise. Beyond that, though, Emory, if your quarterback's not a captain, you're probably in dire straits.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a necessity, but like in this situation, you need Emory Jones to be a leader on this team, and I think he's embraced and accepted that role, so it makes sense.
I am telling you right now, if Cincinnati ever has a team where the quarterback is not a captain, I will be a little nervous for the season.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I get it. I get where you're coming from. There's only a certain number of them. So it was Ben. I don't remember if Ben was a captain last year.
Well,
I assume he was, but I don't
believe he was.
Yeah.
In any case, you also have two defensive linemen. Nobody in the secondary, no linebackers. You have Jawan and Dante, arguably the best two players on the defense. Deshaun Pace would probably like a word.
That would be the one. If you're gonna add anybody that you would say like, I feel like so and so was left out, it would be DP.
I think the only way that you could do it though would be to go three defensive players, like 5 total captains.
Yeah,
that's the only way.
And
you take either of those two other guys out.
Right. And then what you do is you just rotate. Like every game has, 3 of the 5 or 4 of the 5 or whatever.
Sure.
But honestly, like I think with DP, like I think Deshaun is fine. Just kind of being Deshaun.
I don't think he's gonna stomp around or
I don't think he needs that like not that any of them need the gratification of being named a captain, but like, I don't think it's something he's gonna like be concerned with, other than like
He'll also be leading by example on the field.
right, yeah. So, whatever. What was the second thing we were gonna get to?
Walk-on tryouts.
Oh yeah, walk-on tryouts. I saw some people like kind of wondering where this came from. It happens every year. The thing that doesn't really ever get talked about in that world is, so you have a certain number, like your roster can only, even scholarship, non-scholarship, can only be a certain number all the way up until the start of school. I think that's 90. And then when school starts, you can go out to 105. So I think it's always been done where they open up. If you want to come try out, there's an open tryout and you can earn yourself a walk-on spot. Be a body in practice. There's not many people that have made it in those windows, but there are some. Most of the time, like, your walk-ons are preferred walk-ons that get recruited. Like,
right.
We like you. We like your tape. Come here. We think, you can help us out in practice and, eventually maybe grow into a special teams role or whatever the case may be. But yeah, that was, I just saw some people like kind of wondering, like, should we worry that they're doing walk-on tryouts? And no, it's not basketball. If you see basketball post walk-on tryouts the week of the first game, you can be a little concerned, because that means we need bodies. Like, we need bodies bad. Third topic, it's an Aaron topic. We will switch up the order here, and I will let you take it away.
Blake Baumgartner from ESPN wrote that the Big Ten is going to release game day availability reports this season. Thus far, they are the only ones, I believe, the only of the Power 5 conferences at this point to make it mandatory on game days. They have to, at least 2 hours before kickoff, release their availability reports, both on the conference website and on X, which is Twitter, whatever we're calling it. I'm curious as to what the availability requirements are. If it's going to be like the old NFL where you had 4 different ones, where you had probable, questionable.
I think it's just going to be these guys are out. If I had to guess, knowing how college coaches are, if they're being forced into this, they're not going to want
to show their hand.
Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong that they'll want the like probable, doubtful, whatever. My guess is you're just going to get a list of guys that aren't playing that week. Like, as minimal as possible, with still doing what's being asked.
The theme of all of this is transparency and integrity of the game, as there is it mentions that they are reporting and partnering with USI, which is US Integrity, which is the company that the Big 12 announced with a partnership as well this past Wednesday, as that coming on the heels of Iowa State and everything going on there. So I don't know. I find it interesting that you would now have a power conference that's going to be only one, which I find a little odd, especially as it gets progressively into the season. If they're still the only one,
you're going to see more, I think, eventually.
I think you would almost have to. I think that they're forcing the hand, I guess.
For sure.
I'm not surprised that the SEC was not the first on board. I am surprised that the Big Ten was the first on board. I would have thought, as again, this comes on the heels of Wednesday, the Big 12 announcing a partnership with USI. They have not yet announced that they're doing this. The Big Ten is. Are you at all surprised that, A, that this is happening, and B, that the Big 12 did not do this when they announced the partnership on
Not even
Wednesday?
Remotely surprised that it's happening. Like, it has to happen. Like you open up so many doors. If you don't do something like this, like your starting quarterback is out, and the walk on, backup, third string kickoff guy, like starts leaking some information, and it gets
Right.
out, and there's a gambling advantage to knowing, like, okay, the quarterback's not starting, or the star wide receiver, or whatever. There's too much gray area to not, and this is, you think NFL coaches want to do
No,
injury
sure.
reports? No,
Absolutely not.
but the NFL knows, like, you have to keep everything as optically above board as humanly possible.
And Bill Belichick still found ways to skirt around those rules with the probable and questionable and doubtful and
Right.
all of the different wordings that you could lump people into. And I'm still not certain that any of his reporting was ever accurate, but
no, he was playing a game.
And I wonder if we're going to see any of that, and if there will be any ramifications for that at all.
If you're a conference, you're going to have to, if you find discrepancy, you're going to have to hold people accountable. You have to. You have to.
I guess what would the penalty be at that point?
Suspend coaches for games, suspend coaches that, if you're a coach and you're hiding that information, you're going to have to be punished. Have to be. Because the optics of it are, what are you hiding, bro? Like, what, like, legitimately, what do you, everybody else is doing it. You're the one that's not doing it. Are you taking calls from the dad of a player in another school and giving them gambling advice in the middle of the season?
Ruh-roh.
Like, it has to be done, Aaron. It has to be done. Gambling is legal far too frequently. Like, it's available in far too many places across the country. It's not just Vegas anymore.
Well, and I guess that's where I'm going to be intrigued to see if we start seeing more frequent injury reports and what those may look like. And I still don't think that out and active are the only two discrepancies that you're going to see on players.
I think that's where it's going to start. Maybe it changes as we progress. But what they're talking about now, if you read these reports, the only thing they're releasing is the day of the game, 2 hours before kickoff. There's no point in, like, the whole reason the NFL system is the way it is that starts on, like, Tuesday. And you have to declare it on this day, and on the before practice on Wednesday and Thursday, Friday. Like,
I guess I'm
coming? Probably, yeah.
Which is why I'm confused as to why we're reinventing the wheel here with NCAA versus the NFL, which has already been doing this.
Because I'm sure with the NFL, it also took time to get from the day of the game announcing what your 53-man roster is to announcing it every day of practice. And remember, the NFL has different media responsibility. Like, those guys don't get to see practice all that often, but they are in the locker rooms a lot more often. They do get access, I think, 3 days a week. I know there's Monday media. Right. I think there's Wednesday or Thursday, but it's Monday, Wednesday, and either Thursday or Friday. I can't remember. But, like, they're in front of the microphone a lot more than what college does.
Yeah.
So that part makes a little bit more sense. The way it's being structured right now, it is Saturday. If you play at noon, at 10 a.m., essentially you just declare who's not playing so that there's an hour and 50 minutes of gambling that happens with the accurate information, I guess.
Well, it was a slow news week this past week. This week, the news should be ramping up as in 6 days, there is a kickoff.
Tomorrow it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. Fief.
Can't wait.
We'll see you tomorrow. BBP, as always, I'll be here when I can get here. You guys are on your own until then. That's the Nightcap. Brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken. Right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya.